Well, hello there. Today I am taking you along with me on a solo overnight backpacking adventure here in the desert. But am I really alone if you guys are with me? This has been really nice so far. And I'm carrying a lot of water. Have about 6 liters, I want to say. I drank a lot of water before I got started cameling up, as they say. This way, you know, I'm starting the trail hydrated and I don't have to dip into my water storage early. It's pretty hot out, especially with the direct sun, but it is nice. It's only, I mean, my car said it was only like 75 degrees, but it definitely feels warmer. And at least the trail's pretty flat. Makes it a little easier. But sand, of course, is always a little more effort for every step because, you know, it's not a solid ground. But it did just rain. We had a lot of rain past couple weeks out here in San Diego County. And so a lot of this is actually pretty packed because of the rain. So that's pretty nice. Anyway, back to hiking and see you later. Wow, wow, wow. Home sweet home for the night. And look at this amazing view. This is one of my classic spots that I will remember forever. So I just had a lovely weekend with my friend Megan out here in the desert. We went on a nice 7 or 8 mile hike yesterday. We camped out the last 2 nights. We checked out some little like hole in the wall saloon, and then this morning we split up. I had a little bit of work to do and she had to get back home for work. So We split up after having some coffee, and I grabbed some breakfast in the town of Borrego Springs. Then I drove over to one of the trailheads out here. It's actually a trailhead for multiple different trails, but what I've been doing as my backpacking trips in Anza, Borrego is just choosing a wash, or like choosing a series of washes to follow, and then just seeing where it takes me. I have a general idea of how to find some of the better views, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I take a slightly different path each time. Some paths are more taken than others, or more traveled than others, I suppose. So they're not too hard to follow. Just make sure you have a map and know where you're going, and, you know, just be prepared. Be careful with flash floods and check the weather, and, you know, just be careful. Anyway, I'm excited to be camping here tonight. The sun will probably be setting in about an hour, and I'm hoping for a nice sunset. It's always a nice sunset out here, but without all the clouds, it won't be as much of a show. But anyway, I think I'm gonna hang out, just sit around, read my book a little bit, and I'll probably have an early dinner, go to bed early, and wake up with the sunrise, because that's the way to do it out here. Go to bed with the sun set, rise with the sunrise. It is a little tricky to do that when the sun sets at 4:45, so I usually wait till the sun to set at least to start cooking dinner, and then after dinner we see how I feel. I could fall asleep, I could read, listen to a podcast. We shall see. Anyway. So it's just about 4:30, and the sun has already gone over the mountains. And before it gets dark, I figured I would start boiling up some water for dinner. And for dinner, I have some noodles. I have the spicy soy noodles that I'm going to add a packet of peanut butter to. And if I'm still hungry, I will also have this sesame miso noodle. These are like the new and improved version of the noodles from Momofuku, so I'm excited to try them out. I love their noodles, and I think they make perfect backpacking meals, so I'm excited. And I am going to start with the spicy soy noodles. So good. What a beautiful evening. Good morning, and what a beautiful morning it is. I just woke up a little while ago because I guess I turned over and eyes opened up a little bit and I was like, oh wow, there's light. And sure enough, the sun is rising, or the first light of day is coming up into the sky. The sun hasn't actually come up over the horizon yet. And I'm getting ready to make some coffee over here. I definitely packed a good amount of water on this. I packed about 5 or 6 liters. And I started my hike pretty late yesterday, around, I want to say 1:30 p.m. and sunset is around 4:45-ish. So I knew I wasn't gonna go too far on this hike, but that is perfectly fine with me. I just wanted to get out here and enjoy a night alone in the desert with a beautiful view. I've stayed at this spot many times. It's kind of one of my go-tos, my secret spot, if you will. And it's so peaceful here. I love not hearing or seeing anyone else around me. I did hear some coyotes last night, which I've been waiting for. We haven't heard them the last 2 nights. So that's always comforting to me. I love the sound of coyotes. It freaks some people out, but not me. And I'm reading a new book. I'm almost done with it, actually. Pacific Crest Trials by Zach Davis and Carly Moore, or Moree. It's a psychological and emotional guide to successfully through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. And yeah, it doesn't read as much of a story or like a memoir, or there's not much storytelling in this. It's more of literally a guide. So I was expecting a little bit more of a story to this, but that's all right. I listened to Zach's podcast, Zach and Chance, or Zach Badger Davis and Juliana Chauncey, aka Chance, Backpacker Radio. They run a podcast and it's really good. I like that their episodes are nice and long, so I can listen to them on road trips and hikes, and it takes up a good chunk of time if you're looking for something to help you pass the time. So, Backpacker Radio, great recommendation. Tooth and Claw podcast always. National Park After Dark. Those are kind of like my go-tos when it comes to outdoorsy podcasts. So, do you listen to any of those? And if you do, let me know what your favorites are, or if you haven't, check them out. Let me know if you do like them. But here's what we're working with. It looks like the sun just popped up over the horizon. There's my campsite. And look at that. Beautiful. And look at the mountains back here. How purple they are. I love my new tent. This was my first trip using this new tent. I've been wanting to upgrade mine. I love my North Face Storm Break. It's great. It's done me well for, I want to say 8 years. But I have a big trip coming up and I wanted a lighter tent and one that had a little more space. And so I went with the Big Agnes Copper Spur Ultralight 1. And REI is having a really big sale right now, so I was able to get $100 off of it, which was excellent. It's still pretty expensive with $100 off. I think I paid like a little over $400. But it's a whole pound lighter than my other tent, which is a big difference. This one's exactly 2 pounds, maybe 2 pounds and 1 ounce. And my North Face one was 3 pounds, pretty much exactly 3 pounds. And this one actually gives me a little more head space when I sit up. There's a little bit more space overhead. And it does give me a little bit more floor space as well. So definitely an upgrade, which is nice. And this was my first trip using it, and so far so good. No complaints. yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna make some coffee and enjoy the sunrise. It can be tricky backpacking in the desert because obviously you have to carry all the water that you need. You're not going to be filling up. There's no water sources. And especially if you are cooking meals with water, like last night I had ramen noodles. I used water to cook the pasta, and then this morning I'm having some coffee. So you have to also factor in water for your meals. So carrying extra is always a better idea. And also another thing I learned very quickly is if you use a backcountry bidet instead of packing out toilet paper, in a place like this in the desert, it's better to just pack out your waste and use like a wag bag. But you know, if you're deep enough in the desert and in a place where not too many people come by, I feel like you are okay to bury it. It's just that in this kind of environment, it takes a lot longer for it to break down. There's not like rich, nutrient-dense soil that's going to be composting your waste. It's, you know, dry sand and rocks out here, so it might take a bit longer. But yeah, if you're using a backcountry bidet, you got to factor in that water too. So not only do you need to pack all the water that you're going to drink, you need water for your meal, you need water for coffee if you're making coffee, and water to clean yourself if that's what you're doing. So yeah, water is life. Anyway, let's get some water boiling. And for coffee this morning, I have some of this Fortune instant coffee citrus rica flavor. I don't remember which one this one was. And then I have some oat milk creamer, just an original plain flavor, and a French vanilla. I think I like the French vanilla flavor a little bit more. It's a little sweeter if you like a little sweetness. And the original is pretty good if you like not sweet. Just a little creaminess to your coffee. So, really glad I found these. Actually, Joy had reached out to me a couple years ago and offered to just send me some of these. And I said, sure, why not? Tried them, loved them, and now I just keep buying them for myself because I like them so much. And that's a nice thing about being a content creator, I suppose, is that these brands send me products, and sometimes they're products I didn't know about or wouldn't have thought to buy for myself, or sometimes they are more expensive than I would pay for myself. And I get an opportunity to try something new and discover like, oh, wow, this is actually worth the money, or this is better than the one I was using before, even though I had never heard of this brand. So that's super cool. I'm super grateful about that, and hopefully my recommendations are helpful when I share them in my content, my videos. I am very blessed, very lucky, very grateful to be in this position and have kind of a audience or a job or a community, a platform that is able to support my hobbies and the things I enjoy. And by showing up here and sharing, it supports my adventures and I'm able to go on more. So that's really cool. It's like a circle effect. The more I adventure, the more community I build, the more gear I get to test out, which means more adventure. So it just keeps going in a circle and getting better and better. Coffee's ready. So I think it goes without saying, but thank you all for supporting me and watching my videos and leaving nice comments, sharing them with your friends or your family, and I don't know, just allowing me to be here and have this little space on the internet to connect with like-minded people who enjoy doing stuff like this, or who feel inspired by my solo adventures and backpacking and hiking. I remember a few years ago being on the other side of things where I was watching a bunch of YouTubers on their through hiking journeys, or just doing cool stuff like this, going on solo backpacking trips, exploring off the beaten path destinations, and, you know, just sleeping in a tent, cooking your own food and carrying all your water. And there's something that really appealed to me about that. And I remember being back home in New York and feeling such a sense of desire and a pull to come out west so that I could be closer to the desert and the Sierra Nevada mountains and places like this where you are just kind of free to roam the land and find awesome camp spots and really feel alone out here, I guess, but with these sweeping, wide open views. And now I'm living it and I'm sharing it with you all, and you guys get to take a look into my life and my adventures, and hopefully you're feeling inspired by me, because I was so inspired by all the people I follow and still follow and support them in their adventures, and have learned a lot through them and through their journeys. So I hope you can take something away from my videos, even if it's just an entertaining way to pass the time. Maybe you feel a similar sense of wanderlust as me and want to try some of these things for yourself. Maybe you're already doing these things and just like seeing what other people who are similar to you are doing. But whatever the reason, thanks for being here. I am grateful for you. I appreciate you. Love you. Yeah. All right. Love ya. Happy trails. Well, I'm all packed up and hitting the trail. It is a beautiful morning with the sun on my skin, and it's pretty warm already. I think it's about 8 a.m. and over towards the Salton Sea, there's like a sea of clouds. I don't know if you could see it, but it is beautiful. And I think I have about 4-ish miles to get back to my car, and then I'll probably hit the town for some breakfast and then head home today, because on Thursday, which happens to be Thanksgiving, my partner and I are going camping in Mojave. So we have to pack and get ready for that. So that'll give me a day to kind of wash all my stuff, get reorganized, maybe go food shopping. I'm not sure what we're going to eat or make, but we're going to be spending 2 nights out in Mojave, 2 different camping areas, and I think it'll be a lovely time. This has been a great start to the week. I have the whole week off because I'm a teacher. We have like a Thanksgiving break. So far so good. And I feel like I've gotten a nice little mix of everything. I got to come out here with a friend. Now I'm out on a little backpacking trip by myself. And then I get to finish the week with my husband. Anyways, back to it. And just like that, I made it back to my car. And now it's time to go grab some breakfast. I'm gonna probably drive actually to Julian, and I think I'll get breakfast there instead of Borrego Springs. And then while I'm in Julian, I could pick up some apple cider, some Julian hard cider, and a pie. I think that would be really nice to have for our camping trip, our Thanksgiving meal. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pack up, maybe enjoy a pickle, guzzle some extra water, and hit the road for Julian.